Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Wes Austin, and these are today's top stories. Today we're diving into some wildly different stories that prove that reality is stranger and sometimes funnier than fiction. Here's a sneak peek at what's coming up. First, the MSNBC duo who just had a meeting with Donald Trump where they lost are just giving us evidence that they don't believe one word of what they say on TV. Then J.K. Rowling takes her quill to HBO host John Oliver in an epic takedown over trans athletes. But wait, it gets even weirder. Bill Gates wants to save the planet by vaccinating certain animals. We'll break that down in an utterly bold plan. Sorry. And finally, the internet is losing its mind over Joe Biden, who somehow managed to go from leader of the free world to leader of the rainforest. So stick around because you don't want to miss any of these stories. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of headlines where they kick you out after 5 minutes. How bad are the ratings at MSNBC?
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump.
I thought you guys said that Trump was Hitler. I mean, weren't you afraid of the Gestapo arresting you on the spot? Wouldn't the SS officers make you disappear? It sounds extremely dangerous, doesn't it?
And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
Joe and Mika having coffee with Trump is like PETA partnering with Outback Steakhouse.
And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we?
Maybe because every time you've said his name is followed by, is the end of democracy as we know it, and because maybe you spent the better part of a decade trying to convince America that Donald Trump is a one-man apocalypse.
Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him. Talking
with him? Is that what they're calling groveling these days? They haven't lost their MSNBC principles. They've just gone from Trump is a threat to democracy to can we get a table for three at Mar-a-Lago? J.K. Rowling called out John Oliver for his delusional take on transgender athletes in women's sports. Here's John Oliver.
There are vanishingly few trans girls competing in high schools anywhere. Even if there were more, trans kids, like all kids, vary in athletic ability, and there is no evidence they pose any threat to safety or fairness.
No safety or fairness issues? That's rich coming from a guy who's never been closer to a contact sport than a game of charades at a vegan dinner party. To be fair, there might not be any safety or fairness issues if John Oliver competes in women's sports, but there are when normal men do. Luckily for us, J.K. Rowling stepped in to call him out. She posted this on X responding to Oliver's comments. An undoubtedly intelligent person spouts absolute bull to support something he wants to be true, but isn't. If you want to tell the world you're happy to watch females suffer injury, humiliation, and the loss of sporting opportunities to bolster an elitist postmodern ideology embraced by a minute fraction of the world's population, fair enough. You're allowed your opinion. J.K. Rowling called Oliver an undoubtedly intelligent person spouting bullshit. Translation, you're smart enough to know better, but somehow you don't. That's British for, bless your heart. Rowling's comeback was so savage, John Oliver is now questioning his own gender identity. Bill Gates has a bold plan to reduce global emissions by vaccinating cows. And he's not talking about your mom.
Cows are about 5% of global emissions, which is pretty unbelievable.
Wild.
And if your goal is to get to zero, you don't get to skip the cows or the steel or the cement so there's a whole class of solutions of making meat without cows.
Making meat without cows. I mean, the obvious answer is chickens, but I have a feeling that's not where Bill is going with this.
So one is to vaccinate the cows in a way that their gut bacteria that emit the methane, which is also called natural gas or CH4, which is the second most important greenhouse gas. You can vaccinate them and that species of bacteria isn't there.
Vaccinating cows to stop them from farting? Look, if a shot can stop flatulence, Pfizer's going to ruin the only thing I do for fun.
And then there's a solution where you stick a sort of a metal thing into the skin of the cow and it actually burns the methane.
Wait, what? Stick a metal thing into a cow and burn the methane? Actually, that's a well-known solution to the cow problem, and it's called a barbecue. If you see Bill Gates anywhere trying to stick things into barnyard animals, it's not what it looks like. He's just trying to reduce the carbon footprint. The world was watching as President Biden spoke about saving the rainforest until he walked off camera into the jungle.
So let's preserve this secret place for our time and forever, for the benefit of all humanity. Thank you very, very much.
Why have you decided to prove your transmission long?
Biden made history as the first sitting president to visit the Amazon, and possibly the first to get lost in it during a press conference. The White House issued a statement. The president did not wander off into the jungle. He just had to take a leak. Thanks for watching Headlines. I'm Wes Austin. Good night.